Today I bring you a different kind of review. I bring you a side-by-side review, the Elara 6 against the Elara 4. Which one should you choose? So, these two mixers looks very similar until you look at the price. The Elara 6 comes around 3,400 euros, and if you want the rotary or fader conversion kit, which is a highlight of this mixer, that's another 430 euros on top, more or less. And the Elara 4 sits around 2,049 euros. So let's put now that into perspective. At Xone 92, the MK2 version cost around 1,369 euros, so way cheaper than the Elara 4. And the Xone 92 it's about 1,790 euros, roughly. So again, cheaper than the Elara 4. So the real question is not just, are these good mixers? The real question is, are they actually an upgrade, or are you just paying more for a different philosophy? So in this video, I'm going to compare the Elara 4 against the 6 side by side under the exact same conditions. Same sound card, same testing, etc. so that you can have a better purchasing decision at the end. And figure out whether they justify that price, especially against industry standards like the ones that I mentioned before. Good. Let's go into the design philosophy from Union Audio. I already explained what Union Audio is, what they stands, who is owning the brand, etc. You can have a look on my previous videos if you have more interest, or you can go to Mojak's videos because he have done a specific review for each one of those, which are outstanding. Both mixers come from Union Audio, and the philosophy from these guys are very clear. It's a pure analog signal path, high headroom, and no unnecessary digital features. In addition, they offer always a step ahead the competition. Then, for example, the Elara 4 that it has an isolator with a crossover adjustable knob, which you don't find in any other mixer before. Or in the Elara 6, for example, that you have a parametric EQ that you can really tweak as your wishes, or the filters where you can tweak this new technology with the width, the mono, which I will explain in future. But the implementation is very, very different from both. The Elara 4 is focused, is minimal, and is compact, very compact. And the Elara 6 is more of a performance tool. It adds routing and creative control on top of the same analog foundation. So already here, the decision is not about it's better or it's worse. It's about, do you want minimalist at the highest quality being compact, or do you want a lot of possibilities? Or maybe both. So let's find out. If we talk about the build, the internals, and the design of the mixer, starting with the Elara 4 first, despite its compact size, it's a fully modular internally with PCBs mounted at 90 degrees, and these reduce the crosstalk and protect against liquid spills, because in a club environment that happens often. And the construction is extremely solid, with a machined aluminum faceplate and high quality components throughout, same as the Elara 6. If we go to the Elara 6 now, this one takes it further. It clearly designed as a flagship mixer. It includes an internal power supply instead of an external one, so no bricks outside, and overall it feels more like a permanent installation piece rather than a portable unit. You also get higher dynamic range and more headroom overall, which already suggests that this mixer is built for more demanding environments. So my conclusion here is the Elara 4 feels engineered for precision and the Elara 6 feels engineered for complexity in a positive way. If we mention also these downsides that I have found in both mixers, starting with the Elara 4 in regards to the layout and the comfort, etc. I just have one issue, which is when you have the return fader activated or fully open, and you want to work with the frequency from the frequency number 1 or the X side, you will struggle with your finger here, as you can see. So that's one point, and the other point is also on the pre-fader knobs. First, they are not illuminated, so you don't know if they are activated or not, so you need to add an extra step just to verify while mixing if they are activated or not. And the second point that I also don't like is that you really struggle once you work with the auxiliaries, because you just touch the pre-fader knob with your finger. That's something I don't like. And the black in black color, it's too much black. I understand this is like the Dark Knight from Batman. It looks great, but technically and functionally speaking, it's hard to get it right. And because you don't have illuminated pre-fader, as I mentioned before. And also one interesting thing, the first time I plug the mixer in and turn it on, I didn't know if it's if it's really turned on or not, because you don't see any colors, or even the faders were not activated, were not illuminated. And I was thinking maybe it's a default unit, but then I just start pressing this one so that I can see if the Elara 6 is turned on. And from the Elara 4 perspective, I mean, it's very solid. They are the same. So what I don't like here is just the return knob, that it's lax, and that's it. So it's really compact. There are not too many downsides on this mixer. And maybe if I get picky, just the center kind of latch here, or the slot, sometimes you don't get it completely into the middle somehow. I think I got a test unit from specifically of the Elara 4. The Elara 6 it's a new mixer which I got from Union Audio and from Pat DJ, the biggest distributor in Germany and Europe for those. So thank you guys for sending me this over. But yeah, that's something I just being picky here. Nothing to worry. If we go into the channel architecture, now this is where things start to diverge significantly. The Elara 4, each channel has a 3-band EQ, a high-pass filter, and with variable Q, the auxiliary send, and a trim and full metering. The EQ operates at fixed frequencies around 200 Hz, 1.1 and 2 kHz with minus 20 dB cut and plus 6 dB boost. It gives you a very controlled, predictable mixing behavior. And from the Elara 6, you have a 4-band EQ, which I love, 2 auxiliary sends, dual Q system, and much more routing flexibility, of course. So the EQ from the 6 adds an extra mid-band at around 250 Hz and 1.5 kHz, which gives you much more detailed tonal shaping. However, you don't lose anything against the Elara 4, because in addition the Elara 4 has this nice isolator that we are going to speak also. So the key comparison line will be the Elara 4 gives you control, and the Elara 6 gives you a lot of control as well over the sound, and the Elara 4 control over the mix, if I get it right what I wanted to express. The analog processing, if we think about the Elara 6, it separates itself. You get two dedicated analog processing strips. So you have the filters, the high pass and low pass filter with a resonance knob, a drive with harmonic distortion, which I'm not a fan of, but you have that, and side chain compensation. And you have this innovation that it's called a stereo with control, where you can really tweak the sound as you would like to, and it sounds just outstanding. One negative point that I find also is that you need always to have the the filter activated in order to use it. Let me show you. Hope you get the wider stage. I went to mono now. Let me get some resonance. So this is the normal one. We go to the width. You can see I'm already picking. So be careful, guys. Resonance and width function. You should have some headroom here. Of course, I am driving the channel very hard. So great. I hope you got an idea on how this sounds. So, in contrast, the Elara 4 has none of this, and that's not a limitation actually, that's a decision. Because instead of adding processing, it focuses entirely on a clean signal handling and precise EQ control. I have shared already video in my channel comparing them two, so have a look there and you just decide which one you like. If we talk about the mixing experience, one of the most important features on the Elara 4 is the master isolator. This is not just a standard EQ, it's a full isolator with complete kill and up to +6 dB boost. And more importantly, it has a variable crossover control. Let me show you. So for example, I have the low now here. I can take out more from the lower frequencies if I adjust the crossover up to 1 kilohertz. Same adjustment will be affected for the mid and for the Good. I hope you get the idea here. So you can sweep the crossover point roughly between 100 Hz and 1 kHz, which means you are not locked into a fixed frequency bands. So instead of just cutting lows, mids or highs, you are actually redefining where those bands start and end, which again highlight and much love for this feature on the Elara 4. So in practice, this makes the Elara 4 extremely expressive at the master level. You can reshape the entire mix in real time, and you can create smooth transitions between the frequency zones or completely isolate parts at the spectrum with precision. In contrast with the Elara 6, now here is the interesting part. The Elara 6 does not have a master isolator like this one. Instead, it gives you this 4-band EQ per channel and the analog processing strips for shaping sound individually. So the philosophy is completely different. The Elara 4 controls the entire mix at once, and the Elara 6 controls each channel in depth. With the Elara 4, if if I conclude, you perform on the master, and with the Elara 6 you perform inside the channels. If we go now into Headroom and audio performance, so both mixers have excellent audio performance. The Elara 4 already delivers around 108 dB dynamic range, very low distortion at around 0.01 total harmonic distortion, and the Elara 6 gives you over 114 dB, so 10 dB more or something like that, dynamic range, and a higher maximum output levels. But in practice, both sound extremely clean, but the Elara 6 feels more open. That's what also the comments from the video that I shared already are the feedback from the audience, and you feel it, you see it, or well, you hear it, sorry, and with more room for playing multiple stuff simultaneously. So this is a mixer where you can play, give everything into the plate so that you can eat everything. So the limitations. No mixer is perfect, of course. I already mentioned some downsides that I don't enjoy in both. But for the Elara 4, it has limited channels, so just 4. So no advanced processing, so you don't have high pass. You have a high pass filter per channel, which is also an addition, but low pass filter you don't have. You don't have a resonance. So all that stuff, which is adding complexity in a positive way, are gone from here. So it's more focused on workflow. And the Elara 6 is, of course, way more complex. You need a little bit of time in order to understand it. And it's easier to overprocess things with the variable EQ, for example, for the effects, the width functionality, the drive, blah, blah, blah. So it requires more attention during mixing. That's for sure. And who should buy which one? The Elara 4, choose this if you want simplicity, if you want way and high precision, and if you would like just to focus on a track selection and transitions. That would be my recommendation. That's how I see it. That's how I mix with it. And for the Elara 6, choose it if you want really creative control, sound design possibilities, and a lot of flexibility in complex setups. For a club, this is an outstanding option, having it there. And you can even and highlight as well is this rotary fader conversion. If you have a DJ that tells you, hey, I would like a rotary fader, you change it in 2 minutes with just 2 screws. So for changeover, that's outstanding, and you keep the high and outstanding sounding analog sound of audio from this mixer. So, my conclusions. These are not 2 versions of the same mixer. They are 2 completely different approaches to DJing. The Elara 6 is very disciplined, and the Elara 6 is creativity. And depending on how you mix, one of them will make you better. The other one will just give you more ways to get lost. And I hope you like also this kind of back-to-back review, 2 mixers against each other, comparing them both, highlighting the most important points, and also telling what I don't really enjoy without giving you enough detail of each one of the mixers. Let me know, what do you think about this kind of review? Happy to hear you in the comments. Remember guys, I am Alex, and I would like to help you to have less regret and doubt when purchasing these pieces, high-end of engineering devices. So, good. See you next time, guys. Enjoy.